welcome to a new episode of the Knitting Hobbit Podcast. My name is Ruth. I'm a knitter based in the Netherlands, and this is where I share what I've been up to. I hope everyone has had a very lovely Christmas. Today is just the Monday after, and I have just not that much knitting to share, just a little bit, except for this finished object. I don't know what else to say at this moment, so let's just dive right into it. So as you can see, I have finished the dress. I will get up and kind of show you. Let's see, I think I need to go quite a bit back. So this is the dress. So this is Augustine's number 11, and this was my project of trying to knit a dress in a week, and I am very, very happy to say that I did it. I made it. I was really glad, and it was really, really close. I finished it on Christmas Day, about 5 minutes before dinner. So I think there's still an end here to be woven in, and on the other sleeve, but I did weave in the very last end on the skirt, so that wouldn't be hanging out. I thought I can just tuck this into my sleeve and it will be hidden. Yeah, so I cast this on exactly a week ago on Monday, and I've just been knitting on it like crazy, and then I suddenly had a panic moment because I remembered that I also signed up to test knit the Huldra mitts from Inga, who's Knitting Traditions here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And they are absolutely lovely mittens, and I really I want to have them and I wanted to knit them, but I just completely forgot because I had this dress in my mind. So I quickly cast those on and then knit a bunch on it, but realized I could only finish one of the two before Christmas. So I messaged Inga and she was like, oh no, that's fine, because I already got past the thumb, and after that it's just pretty straightforward. And she of course had quite a lot of test knitters, so yeah, and the whole pattern was fine. I did have a read through everything, so I still have to finish those are whipped. I will show in a minute. But then I decided to get back on knitting this dress. Do you have anything to say about it? So I cast this on. I knit it in, I think I have some leftovers over here. Let me see. Oh, I have one of each left over. So that's perfect to show you. So I have knitted in Drops Andes mix, which is a worn blend of superfine alpaca and Peruvian Highland wool, together with Drops Kit Silk. So this stark contrast with the really bright kit silk and the really soft wool makes it for a really lovely fabric. Like the mohair makes it just a little bit more pink, and it just blends in really, really well. I'm really happy with it. So that's what I knitted in, and I cast it on with a size 10mm needle, because I did a quick gauge swatch and I thought that was my gauge, but as I was knitting up the raglan, or the yoke, or whatever you call this construction, I found out that my gauge was a little bit big and I had to size down a needle size, but I didn't want to do that mid upper body or sleeve, so I just decided to stop increasing sooner. So this is a little bit less deep. I think it's supposed to go more near the waist. I don't know what's sticking out over here. I'll look at that later, maybe a badly woven in end. And And I also didn't want the sleeves to be too bulky because like I think I've mentioned before, I'm not sure, I've knitted this before, and then I figured out I didn't have enough yarn to make the skirt the length that I wanted, so I ripped it back and I made it into a jumper. And the sleeves of that jumper are really quite bulky and they take up a lot of space, and I didn't really want that. So what I decided to do is, I already had, I think, a couple less stitches than intended because my gauge was a bit big. But I also slowly decrease, I think every 5th or 6th round throughout the sleeve. So that they're not quite as bulky. And I could have made them longer. I think they're now about bracelet length, maybe a little bit shorter. But I do still have to block this. I haven't washed it yet because I finished it just before Christmas dinner. So I immediately just wore it. And then I thought, if I block it now, like yesterday, I thought if I block it now I can't show it on the podcast, and I first wanted to show it on here as well. So I'm filming this, then I'm blocking it, and then I'm probably gonna wear it with New Year's Eve because it's just the coziest and comfiest thing ever. So yeah, that's all the adjustments that I made for the upper body and the sleeves. And I think the sleeves might still grow a bit in the wash. I might block them a little bit longer as well, so they're more like up here. Like I can pull them there, but they don't stay there. And then for the skirt, I didn't want the skirt to be see-through because the top is sometimes a little bit see-through. Like you can kind of see what I'm wearing underneath it. And I didn't want that for the skirt. And I knew that my gauge was quite a bit big. So I decided to size down from 10mm to 9mm for the skirt. And yeah, I just knit the whole skirt according to the pattern. My stitch count, I even increased enough to have my stitch count back to the correct stitch count. And yeah, so it's given me a little bit more of a structured skirt. I can move this up so you can see the join here. So it's a little bit more structured, like these little bits. And I absolutely love that. I love how it looks, and the back is longer, so that is really nice. The bottom of the skirt sometimes still wants to kind of roll up a bit, but I think that will block out because it doesn't always do it, just on rare occasions. But I think that after blocking, the skirt will just have a little bit of a nicer drape and just look a bit nicer in general. But I am really happy that I went down a needle size, so it's not very see-through. Like, of course, this is a dress that you would always and ever wear leggings underneath, because this is not something you wear when you don't need anything on your legs. So yeah, highly recommend knitting this pattern. It is a lot of fun to knit, and because it is on such big needles, it is a quick knit. Like, I did it within a week. Monday I cast on and Saturday I bound off, with knitting on mittens in between. So if you commit to it, you can do it in a week. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think I will get quite a bit of wear out of it. Also just at home, because it's just so comfy to just throw on and like just walk around the house with. I just, because it's like just basically like a huge jumper and just leggings underneath. What is more comfortable than that? And also the leggings I'm currently wearing are like fleece lined on the inside, so they're extra warm and cozy as well. So I'm just super cozy right now. So yeah, that's my Augustins in number 11. I think I'll try to remember to put yarn amounts, like the quantities that I used, in Ravelry. But if you want to see the exact colors and stuff like that, that's already on my Ravelry project page, so that is definitely there. And then let's go into whips, and let's start with a older whip that I have finally picked back up again. I am really excited about this whip, but if you've watched any of my previous episodes, you know that I have been kind of struggling with like energy levels with work and stuff like that. So whenever I came home after work, I just did not, it's a big colorwork project, and I just did not have the brain power to think about the colorwork. And in the weekends, I didn't want to have too much to think about either. But now it's Christmas holidays, I am off for 2 weeks, so I'm going to try and finish this now that I have the brain space and stuff like that. Because it's going to be a while before I'm got some time off again. So this is the Kose Kofte, and you can immediately see why I didn't want to work on this while tired. So I'll hold it back a bit. This is the whole thing, everything that I've got now. So this is a big Norwegian cardigan. It's the Kose Kofte, and it's been designed by Skeindir Knits. It has a steek in the middle. So yes, this will be a cardigan. This will be cut open and turned into a cardigan. I cast this on ages ago. Oh, let's see if my Ravelry knows when I cast this on. I need to open Ravelry first. Excuse me. Well, I give my laptop a second to open Ravelry. Here, Kose Kofte. Oh, I didn't set a date when I cast it on. Usually I do that because I really enjoy looking at like when I knit stuff. But it's been a while. Maybe the picture has a date. Oh, the picture isn't dated either. That's too bad. Oh well. Anyway, I'm really happy with how this is knitting up. So I have my armhole steek. Let's see where it starts, over here. So this is the armhole steek, and I finished the big boy chart, the big Selby roses, and then now it's just 2 smaller charts. Like it will sit about like here on my body, I think, about here somewhere. So then I have 2 more smaller charts, and then I'm seaming up. I think I'm seaming up the top of the shoulder. I haven't really read the pattern through. And soon I'm doing a little bit of neckline shaping. And then, yeah, the body is done. So we're nearly there. I think the body will definitely get done this week because I'm focusing on it. And like I said, I have the week off. So I don't have much to do. I have a dinner tomorrow with my fake grandparents. We're going to have tapas, so I do have to cook a couple things and then be social, which this project would not be good for. But yeah, otherwise I have nothing planned this week. So yeah, the body I think will get done this week, and the sleeves will get cast on. I was thinking of doing them 2 at a time, but I think I'm just going to go with the small circulars and then just 1 at a time, so that can just like fly off the needles. I really love knitting sleeves with the small circulars. They go by super quickly, and I think with the colorwork it will be quite nice as well. So yeah, that's what I've got now. I think when I've got the body done, then I will do the sticks first, so I can like try it on properly, because of course the armholes are shut as well, so you can't try it on at all because your arms have nowhere to go. You can like stick the tube over your body, but that's about it. So it's not the greatest way to try it on. So I think I will get the sticks done, like reinforced and cut open, and then I will try it on, and then I'll do the sleeves or somewhere in that order. Yeah, I'm quite excited about this. This will be a really warm and cozy cardigan with all the colorwork. Like here's a little peek on the inside of the Selby roses. Oh, I'm quite proud of those floats. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I'll get these out of the way. Yeah, that looks quite cool. I'm happy with that. So yeah, oh, I am knitting this in, let me grab it. Ooh, I have 1 more ball of the light color. I might need to order another one. I'm knitting this in Drops Charisma mix, which is just superwash wool and I think this one is called Anthracite, and this one is light grey, light pearl grey. That was the color, I remember now. So the Anthracite is color 53 and this one is 72. And again, I do have these details up on Ravelry, so if you're unsure, I always have all my project pages and everything linked down below. I also have my Instagram, and stuff that I mention I tend to link down below. If you ever have a question, don't be afraid to leave a comment and I will do my best. Talking is a bit hard today. I will do my best to respond. So yeah, that's the Koze Kofte. And then I just have one more whip to show you, and which I already mentioned, is the mittens. I do have a lot more whips, but I haven't worked on them, so I can't show you. I know it's been 2 weeks, but I was working on a secret test knit that I cannot really show you. So yeah, a lot of my time has gone into that before I knit the dress. But then after the last whip, I wanted to share like a little, I'm not sure it's like 100% yet. I think I will post my 100% sure make 9 like on the 1st or 2nd of January. But this is like my little setup, what I think will be my make 9, and I kind of just wanted to talk through the projects and share what I had in mind for that. So that is coming up. But first, my last whip, which is the Huldra knits, like I previously mentioned, by Knitting Traditions. I am doing them 2 at a time, so it is a bit of a tangle, especially now that I have my thumb on hold as well. But these are the mitts. I'll show them up close. And I have this adorable corgi stitch marker, which I absolutely love. So I can try one on to show you how they fit. It's kind of hard to do while it's on the cable and stuff, but this is how mine fits. I am making the smallest size because I have tiny hands. I am knitting mine in Rauma Fino. The yarn she recommends for it is about a fingering to a sport weight, so that's exactly, that's exactly this yarn. I'm really loving the colors. It's really simple and easy color work, easy to remember, easy to do. It's just a fun pattern. Like I would also recommend it if you just want to kind of get the hang of color work. It's really short floats, as you can see. Inga said she catches all the floats. I catch no floats. She also didn't do the color work on the cuff, but she does say it is an option, but you kind of have to figure it out yourself. So I decided to take on that challenge and figure out the color work on the cuff, and I think it looks really, really cute. This row went kind of weird because I'm doing it on magic loop 2 at a time, but maybe that will block out. I do think it looks super cute. Because it's going slanted like that. And basically what I did, just so you know if you want to do it as well. So on the side where you increase of the marker, the first stitch or the last stitch, depending on what way you're going, I always kept the first stitch black, like my main color. Always. Never had that first stitch in a color work color, because then it goes kind of weird, like I did in the very first round. You can kind of see here that stitch went kind of weird. It's like hiding in there, but it tends to go more like this. So just keep like a column of black and then start the color work in between, like the 2 columns that you'll create. Little drink. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue just following the pattern along, and then once I get to the ribbing, I will make the ribbing extra long, so it's like the Hydra mitts. by Fiber Tales, where you can fold the cuff up, like have it not folded, fold it down, up, I don't know. So your whole fingers are covered, but you can also fold it down when you need your fingers to do things. So I have that same plan for these mittens. And I asked Inga and she said that was fine. And of course, I'm way past to do it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, happy with these. I would recommend them as a first time colorwork project because it's really quite simple. It's 2 tiny little charts, easy to remember and quite easy to do and good to practice. You could practice with float catching, you could do it without, it's either ways fine. So then I wanted to share my make 9, and I think I will grab my tablet. I hope the battery is nearly dying, but so that I can show you the patterns, because I've not figured out editing as far as putting in pictures somewhere yet. So I will use this. So the first part of my make 9 is for projects that are already in my queue, that I already have the yarn for, and I just already completely planning to make. And then I have a second little part with, I think it's 2 different projects that I would really love to make, but I don't have the yarn yet. I'm not planning to buy it soon. I want to get my stash down a bit first before I'm buying yarn again. And then once I do, I might get the yarn for those 2 projects. So the first one I want to share, let me open the pictures. Ooh. Excuse me for that, the mailman came and they always gone super quickly, so I had to run downstairs. Anyway, what I was saying, the first pattern that I want to make is, I'm going to butcher this name, but it's the Tusselat Cancer by Linka Newman. She's the author of the Wilderness Knits book, which I have, and it is the thinner version of this jumper. So that is the jumper. I think it is in DK weight, and I am planning to knit it in the very, very lovely yarn from Fiber Tales, which is the Gotland wool. I have both colors, so I'm with the quantities that I have. Sorry, I'm out of breath from running down the stairs. With the quantities that I have, the main color will be the lighter grey, and then the color work I will be doing in a dark, like charcoal grey, and I have a similar yarn from another brand, which is in a really, really lovely yellow. So the color work will be dark grey and yellow, and then the main will be light grey. So that is the first pattern that I want to make, and this might be a cast on once this is done. I'm really excited for that one. I've been having my eye on it for forever, and I really want to make it. And then the next one is the Mole Sweater by Fiber Tales, and it's this one. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous jumper. I have some it's a sport weight jumper, and I have some I think it's cotton tencel yarn, and I think it would be so lovely to have a thin jumper that is like a plant, what do you call that, a plant fiber? I don't know. But not non-animal fiber, but still quite natural, and I think it will be really lovely. It's a really like soft minty green kinda, and yeah, that might be a spring or summer jumper to knit. And then I've written them down. I have them like over there, so I'm keeping an eye on my laptop as well. The next one that I put down is the Elf Mail jumper, which is by, what's her name? Dani Miga. And I was thinking of doing this in some Nutiden that I have. I have a dark green and a light minty green Nutiden, and I think it will be absolutely lovely in that. I looked at the yardage and I think I can manage. Let me double check. Which size would I have? I'm not sure. I think I will. I think I would manage to make it. I have a single plate of each color, so it might be a little bit close, but we're just gonna try. We're just gonna give it a go. And otherwise, I'll do the cuff in a different color or something. I don't know. It will be fine. And then, oh yes. So both Knitting Traditions, Inga and Kat from Heather and Hobbs have knit this very, very recently, and I absolutely fell in love with their versions. And I really want to make one myself now as well. So the next one that I've got planned is the Nordiska by Caitlin Hunter. Let's see which one is a good picture to show you. Oh, this one's pretty good. And this I am just going to do in some fingering weight yarn that I have in my stash. It's a fingering weight project. I think the main color will be black. And then I have quite a bunch of like different kind of like pinks and purples and stuff like that. So that will be, I still have to choose which one exactly I'm going to use, but the color work will be some pinky purpley something. And then the rest that I have planned, for which I already have yarn in my stash, are all Andrea Mowry patterns. So I've recently really fallen in love, like kind of like discovered her. I know she's super famous, but just for me personally, I really enjoy her style, and yeah, I'm just really excited to knit some jumpers from her. Like I have the wool and honey on my needles that I still have to work on at some point, but I kind of lost motivation for that, to be honest. But I have found some more of hers that I really want to knit. So the first one that I will share is the Even Fall jumper. So this is by Andrea Mowry, and I'll show a close-up picture so you can see the color work a little bit better. Yeah. There you go. So this is a very thin colorwork jumper. She's knitted in light fingering, and I have some Lopi Einband. I thought I saw something move outside, but I didn't. I have some Lopi Einband, which I think is either a lace or a light fingering, and I will knit it in that. So then the other one is this one. It's the, I don't know how you really pronounce that, ochre moss. Let me see. She always has really pretty pictures, but I don't think all of the pictures are like that practical. This is a pretty good one. So again, it's one of those pretty simple colorwork projects that she has, jumpers. And I was planning this in, what was it again? I have some Dutch Yarn Barn in a very light dusty pink, and what was it? Oh, Rauma Vinyl in purple. So it will be a pink and purple jumper, and I think it will be quite lovely. And then the last one I haven't saved in my queue, so you need to give me a second to look it up. But I was watching her I'll Knit and Spin If I Want To, her most recent episode, and she was wearing the Nurtured jumper, and she said that it was a really lovely jumper for handspun yarn. And I do have a jumper quantity of handspun that I spun, I think, about last summer. And it is a purple, like a dark purple with black, but also glitter. There is some glitter in there. And I was kind of struggling finding the perfect jumper for that. But she was saying that her nurtured jumper was really great for handspun yarns. Because of the small texture, and she said it kind of hides the inconsistencies that might be there in your yarn. So I'll show a bit more of a close-up picture so you can see the texture. I think it looks absolutely lovely. It's one of those simple jumpers that just has that little bit of texture, just that like it's not too in your face, it just has that little something that makes it quite original, and I really love that. So that is the third and last Andrea Maury jumper I have planned in the future. And then, not in my stash, which I also don't have by hand super quickly. So let me type it in. The first one is by the Campfire, which I first saw on Heather and Hop's Cat's Ravelry page. And of course it's bloody not showing up. By the Campfire, by Rachel. Here it is. So it's I saw it, she test knitted it, and it looked so cozy and lovely. And I have a cardigan, a store-bought cardigan that I bought years and years ago, which is one of my absolute favorites. And it reminded, the shaping kind of, and the type of colorwork kind of reminded me of that. And I do really, really love that cardigan. So I thought it would be so amazing to have a kind of hand-knitted version of it. So it's this really cozy, I have to zoom in quite a bit so the picture isn't the best quality yet, but you can see it pretty well. It's this really cozy cardigan, and I'll show you the back with some color work, but not like too intense. Like some of it is just striping, and then there's those big kind of like panels of color work. And I will see if I can find Kat's version pretty quickly. Oh yeah, here it is. Let me see. So this is Kat's version, and doesn't that just look like the absolute coziest thing ever? I really want it. I think it would be an amazing cardigan to have. So I'm really excited for that. And then the other one, let me see. This one has one of those weird letters, which I'm definitely going to mispronounce. So the next one is called Kavin Koti by Tia. I'll zoom in on the name because I definitely mispronounced that. Oh god, I accidentally refreshed. It's this. I will make a bundle in Ravelry, like one of those favorites bundle, and I will put all of these patterns in there. So if you're curious about one of them, you can just go to the bundle and see. So this one is an absolute gorgeous colorwork jumper. Look at that. I really, really love it. So yeah. And that should be 9 projects in total. So the last 2 I don't have the yarn for. The other ones I already have planned. There might be some small changes, but in general this is going to be my Make 9 for 2022. And I am really excited. I think all these projects are really gorgeous. There are some practical ones, there are some ones that are just so pretty. So I am really looking forward to the new year. I am I am planning on making another video this week, which is going to be all of my knits in 2021. I will do just the garments, because I feel like if I do accessories for me are not quite as interesting personally. But you can always find those on my Ravelry. But I did really want to do a garments one, because this is the first time, this is like the first year that I've gone properly into garment knitting, and I absolutely love it, and I love wearing it, and I wear all my knits, so I just really wanted to make a video where I can show all of them properly while wearing them as well, and talking about them in a bit more detail, and then I can also share the older ones that I've knitted before I started this podcast. So that will be coming up later this week. I'm going to have to see when I have time to film and when there's no one at home. It might be Wednesday or Thursday, but it could also be next week if I can't manage this week. It might also be Friday. I don't know. We will see. Somewhere in the coming week or 2 weeks, I will do that. And then, because I am going to get a lot of knitting done, I am planning on podcasting again next week. So I will see you soon. I hope you had a nice Christmas and will have a happy new year, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.